Hello, my name is Nova, and I'm here today at Arizona Science Center to talk to you all about the science of bubbles and some really fun experiments that you can do at home. Let's get into it. So, I think most people have probably seen bubbles before, but if you haven't, this is a great place to start. Let's start by making what we need to make our bubbles. And I am going to get some water. And I'm going to use just regular dish soap. I'm putting about 1/2 to 3/4 of one of these spoonfuls, but you can experiment with different amounts of soap to see what makes the best bubbles. So I want to test my bubble solution out by using a straw to see if we can get some good bubbles out of it. When you're using a straw to blow bubbles, it's very important to remember to take a deep breath in before you put the straw into the bubbles so you don't accidentally drink some, because it doesn't taste very good. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath in and then blow into my bubbles. And as you can see, we can get a nice tall pile of bubbles here. One thing about bubbles that you might already know is that it's very easy for them to pop. So if I touch these bubbles with my dry finger, right away, we're going to see them start to pop and pop and pop. If your finger is covered in soapy water, the bubbles don't pop as easily. Instead, they kind of stick to your finger. So maybe you can start trying to think about why you think that happens. Why does a dry finger cause the bubbles to pop, but a soapy finger, you can touch them and they're fine? For our next bit, I'm going to actually pour my bubbles into this tray so that I can use a bubble wand. A bubble wand is just the name that we give to this kind of thing. It's a closed loop, and we will use it to get a nice bubble film. And same thing with this bubble wand as before. If I dry my finger off and touch it with a dry finger, the bubble pops right away. But again, if I get my finger a little soapy, what I can do, if I'm really careful, is put my finger right through that bubble and it still doesn't pop. It's really interesting. One thing that I'm going to do to make my bubbles a little bit sturdier is I'm actually going to add some corn syrup to my bubble mix. You can use corn syrup, you can use glycerin, or you can even use just regular sugar powder as long as you mix it really, really well so it fully dissolves. So we're going to start with our round bubble wand. And one thing we want to think about is, what shape do we think the bubble is going to be if we blow it out of this? All right. So that's kind of a big wobbly bubble bouncing on my table there, but it's mostly round, which maybe you would have expected coming from this round bubble wand. Let's try this little heart-shaped one. Do you think we could make heart-shaped bubbles with this heart-shaped bubble wand? Let's find out. So again, I'll dip it in my bubble liquid. And again, that bubble looks kind of round. My question to you, do you think you could design a bubble wand that makes a bubble that is a different shape than just that round ball that we saw? A way that you can do that is by using just a regular old pipe cleaner. Bend the end around towards the middle and twist it together to make a loop, and then you can shape that loop into whatever shape you want. I kind of like the heart one, so I'm going to go with that again. And to make it easier for myself, I'm going to bend it like this so it's easy to get into the bubble solution. And once again, we see we get a round bubble out of our heart-shaped bubble wand. Isn't that interesting? So I would like to encourage you to try making all kinds of different shapes of bubble wands and see if you think they're always going to be round, or if you might be able to get them to be a different shape sometimes. You can also experiment with different amounts of water and soap, corn syrup, sugar, or anything else you might want to add to your bubble solution to see if it makes things work better or not as well. There's so much to explore. This is a wonderful, fun activity that you can do with materials you probably already have at home. It gets a little messy, but the best part, cleanup, is super easy because it's all just made of soap. I hope you have lots of ideas for what you can learn about bubbles from doing this. For more activities just like this and lots of others, please visit our website, azscience.org. And with that, have a great time exploring. We'll see you next time.